Yeah. Oh, God. What? It's okay. I can take disrespect. Oh my God, this is so low. I need a booster seat. There's a way of getting it up. Yeah, how do we get it up? I know there's a little lever to make this chair go up. There's a little lever. It's chilly out. This shouldn't be a very long meeting, I don't think. Think it'll be a long meeting? Should be pretty short, I would think. Yeah, should be.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Bonnie.
Hi, Bonnie.
I can see half of you.
I just got your text. No, they have turned Zoom on. She
Okay.
texted me and said they turned Zoom on.
As I said,
Yeah, they have-
I hope we don't have any more problems like last time.
I hope not, because that's one thing we've got it fixed.
Now I can see you all. So what time is it? Oh, we got 2 minutes. Is everybody there that's coming?
Ronnie, can you hear us?
Pardon? Can I hear you? Yes. But just make sure, and if people talk in that, don't talk in that tall microphone, talk in the one over on the corner like they did at the last council meeting.
Okay.
Gina, say something.
Hi, Bonnie.
Hi,
Okay.
hello.
All right, I can hear that. Is that Nancy?
Yes,
I can always
talking
hear
into
you.
the microphone.
Yeah, I can hear you well.
Okay,
Good, good, good. All right,
It's
one
good.
more minute, we'll start.
who else is on Zoom? I can pick it up on here, but it just makes it.
We only have 7 participants on Zoom.
Okay, who's on Zoom?
I don't know. Let me see. Me. KA, iPad, Theodore Lambert, and Tom L, I think it says. That's all. So, 6 o'clock. Welcome to the Land Use Board meeting of February 6, 2023. We will start this evening by standing and saluting our flag. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Did you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, then stand and let's salute the flag.
You're standing.
We are. We're
Oh,
standing.
see, I'm not seeing that. I'm just seeing you all sitting.
We're all standing and we have our hearts on our heart. I mean, our hands on
All right,
our
I
heart.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by posting on the bulletin board in the entrance hall of the Beach Haven Municipal Building and mailing the same to the Beach Haven Times and the Asbury Park Press. This meeting is a judicial proceeding. Any questions or comments must be limited to issues that are relevant to what the board may legally consider in reaching a decision for each individual application. Decorum appropriate to a judicial hearing must be maintained at all times. Roll call, Mrs. Eddles. Mrs. Leonard,
Yes,
Mr. Moonhawk. Mr. Tempest.
Yes.
Mr. Stevens. Mr. Jenna.
Here.
Mayor Davis.
Here.
Mr. Middle.
Here.
Mrs. Ballmiller. Here. Mr. Valdo. Mr. LaFredo. Mr. Wanger. And Miss King. Here. I think Penny just
Are-
joined.
All right. Gina, I'm not seeing a current picture of movement. It's like frozen, but I'll go ahead. Tonight's new business is ordinance amendment 2023-2C. And I'd like Ms. LeBeau to explain that to you all or go over it with you so you understand it. As I understand it, Class 1 and Class 3 cannot participate in our meetings for D variances. But if somebody is not happy with the outcome of the board, they now go to council and council will hear the case and decide yes or no. Just for a personal note, I'm not fond of this. I don't think it shows very much confidence that council has in our land use board in their decisions, but I will let her go ahead and explain it or go over it with you.
That's a different order. We already passed that ordinance.
Can she speak into the mic?
Bonnie, we already passed that ordinance and discussed that ordinance at the last meeting. There's a different ordinance about front yard setbacks, correct? Ms. LeBeau?
That is the ordinance that I have up right now is 2023-2C is about setbacks for stairs.
Right.
And the ordinance that you're discussing for the appeal to the governing.
Would you
body-
have Jamie
That,
speak?
that already passed, Bonnie. That ordinance passed.
I know,
Right.
I'm just telling everybody about it. I know it's passed.
Okay.
I just want them to understand it because it's on our agenda tonight. So I understand that it has passed, that it is a fact. But I just want them to understand it. That's why I asked them to go over it. I don't know, does anybody have any questions about it on the board? No?
So,
Okay,
with that ordinance, the one that you're discussing, that's with the appeal of court decisions to the governing body. So it provides an additional avenue of appeal. Instead of just going to the Superior Court, it provides applicants or interested parties the right to appeal to the governing body. There are members of the governing body on the joint board that are not able to participate in variance discussions and votes. But if an appeal is made of a variance decision to the governing body, they would have the opportunity to vote and participate in that decision.
all right. All right, I still am having trouble hearing you all. So the only person that's coming across clear is Nancy. And why is that?
I don't know. I'm speaking directly into the microphone. That might be why.
All right, well then please ask everybody else to speak directly into the microphone because I'm hearing very little. You're the only one that's coming across clearly.
Nobody's been talking. Why don't you guys try talking in the microphone, see if she can hear me.
That's one too.
I mean, you really have to, the sound
Sure.
system is not good at all on this. It was much better when it was everybody zooming. All right, well then we're finished with this ordinance. Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes of the meeting in January? If so, can I have a motion to approve the meetings for January?
Yes, this, so moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Okay. Moving right along to the approval of the minutes, February 2023 bills. Did everybody have a chance to look at those?
Yes.
I had a
Yes.
question about one of them. Frank, there was one that you did that was like $3,000 and it was about initials. Who was that for?
That was for Queen City Marina review. The Queen City Marina review, is that what you're talking about?
I can't hear him. Okay.
He said Queen City Marina.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the meetings?
So move, Penny.
Second.
Minutes approved, I mean, bill list.
Bill list is, I know you meant bill list.
We do have the other ordinance still, Bonnie, for discussion, the 2023 2C. Did you want to go back and just see if anyone had comments on that?
I don't know. I can't hear you, so it's very difficult.
She asked if you wanted to go back to 2023 2C, that particular ordinance.
Well, I was told that it was already passed, so, and nobody had any questions about it.
Bonnie, I think you have the wrong ordinance in mind. They're talking about the setback, the stairways.
It's the one with the setback for the stairways for people that have to raise their houses.
Oh, that's not on, well, 2023 2C, right? That's the one.
That's what that's what's listed here on the agenda.
Right. But there's another one you want to discuss?
I'm not sure what the exact, I did read that ordinance. Yeah, that's this, is that the setback one? Yeah, the 2C, Bonnie, is the one with the setbacks. And it allows people that have to raise their house that don't have
Right.
enough
They get
land to go
60
into the
square
easement.
feet.
Yeah,
Right, they get 60 square extra feet for stairs, right?
I couldn't get,
It's just for existing homes.
yes, for an existing, only existing home. Only if people have to raise their homes.
Right. Okay,
I mean, I don't know if we need to just, I guess we need to discuss it. It makes sense to me.
yeah. When I went and raised my house, tried to raise my house before Sandy, I could not raise it because I was 60 square feet over for the steps.
Right.
So I did not raise it, but that was that was back in '09. So I think it's a good idea. I don't see anything wrong with it.
No, well, what was happening, Bonnie, is that new construction was also taking advantage of the 60 extra square feet where they don't need to, they need to keep with the regular 15-foot setback. So this is just clearing up a loophole that new construction was taking advantage of.
Okay, fine.
I mean, I'm the only one that's microphone seems to be working properly.
Right.
But is there anybody here that has anything to say about that? It makes total sense to me,
I think it's a good
that
idea.
ordinance.
I don't see.
Is there
any
anybody
reason-
on the land use board that needs to, you're welcome to use my microphone.
Makes sense to me, Tom.
I mean, it does make sense, what Jamie was saying, you can't, build a new house and have that, you have to build a new house to comply with the rules.
Right. Well, that's just like people that build new houses and they go up over 35 feet. I don't understand that either, but anyway.
I agree.
Does council want a motion on this to how we feel about it?
I think you just have to go back to council with a statement saying that, I guess that there was no objection to this ordinance at the land use board. I don't think you have to vote. I'm not sure on that.
You don't have to vote, just, transmit your comments if you have any, and, is it consistent with the master plan? Is this a good idea? And then we can transmit that to everybody.
Yeah, it's just making sure that people follow the rules and that the only exceptions are for pre-existing homes that literally wouldn't be able to get in their house after they're raised if they didn't have this.
Well, that's all common sense to me. That I have no.
So we
problem
just
with
need to
Right.
just write something saying that the land use board feels comfortable with this ordinance and
Right.
it meets the spirit of the master plan.
Right. Gina will take care of that. Okay, anything else that you want to discuss before we move on? Okay, let's start with application 2023-01, 507 West Beach Avenue, block 175, lot 2. This is the one that wants to needs a variance to construct a new second-story deck extension. The side yards for the deck extension will match the side yards of the existing home. Is Jim doing this?
Yeah,
Yes, can you hear me, buddy?
no, she can't hear you. Maybe you better use mine.
How about the one on the end? Is there one on the very end?
Gotta get this fixed. This is ridiculous. There's just something, I mean, you can't have this.
Can you hear me with this one, Bonnie?
Yeah, vaguely. It's better, Jim.
Okay.
Well, maybe she used Nancy's.
Yeah, I mean, this works great. If you want to.
Nancy's works great.
Seems like Nancy's the only one that's working.
Don't me use that one. We'll be face to face.
Usually mine's the one that doesn't.
All right. Okay, you can hear me with this one, Bonnie?
Perfect.
Okay. Good evening. James Raven on behalf of the applicant, Kevin Wasilewski, Karen Wasilewski, Sean Wasilewski, and Valerie Wasilewski. Mrs. LeBoux, do you like to mark exhibits in the beginning or just if we add additional materials?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Then, thank you. I guess preliminarily, I will mark one exhibit. We'll call this Exhibit A1, which is a photograph of the property. You're welcome.
Can you see that on Zoom?
Bonnie, are you able to see the photograph that's being shown on Zoom?
Yes.
Okay. So this property is located at 507 North Beach Avenue. And as I stated, we've marked as Exhibit A1 a photograph of the front of the existing dwelling. So the property is currently developed with a single-family dwelling with the deck that is shown on the photograph. It's a second-story deck. And what the applicant is proposing is to expand that deck so it basically becomes the full width of the house, and it'll extend out a little bit further as shown on the variance plan. And the existing combined side yard setback is non-conforming, but the proposed deck will match the existing house. So the combined side yard setback is not getting any smaller. It's going to match what's existing. It's going to extend further out, as I stated. And part of the reason they want to have it go the full length of the house is because they want to preserve the ability to access that garage. And by extending it the full width of the house, they're able to accomplish that. And another aspect of the application is currently the impervious coverage is slightly over what is permitted. And as part of the application, the applicant is proposing to remove the concrete pad along the northerly side of the house. And that will bring the impervious coverage into conformity. Mr. Marciano from East Coast Engineering is here to testify regarding the variance plan. And we also have Kevin Wasilewski, one of the applicants, who's available as well. I'll start with Mr. Marciano.
I can't. Yeah, do you solemnly swear to,
Yes, I do.
and your name?
Jason M. Marciano with the firm of East Coast Engineering. I'm a licensed professional engineer and licensed professional planner in the state of New Jersey.
And your address?
Address is 508 Main Street, Toms River, New Jersey, 08753.
And have you appeared for this board?
I have appeared before this board many times and all boards on the island and majority of Ocean County.
Mr. Marciano, for the benefit of the board, would you please give an overview of the proposed plan, what exists currently, and what the applicant's proposing?
Okay, sorry, I'm used to pointing to my board, so this is a little unusual. I'll do my best. So what we have here is 507 Beach Avenue, as was described. It's a fairly small lot, 35 feet in width, 70 feet in depth. And this lot was created by subdivision approved in 1982. So it's been at least 40 years of this geometry. The structure was there at that time. The structure we're talking about is 22 feet in width, 22 feet in depth. It's set back at the very rear of the property. There's a concrete driveway along the southerly front yard and air conditioner to the rear, existing shower and shed attached to the right side or south side of the house. There's some concrete on the left side from the house to the property line, and there's a wooden deck, roughly 6 by 12, on the front of the house that allows you to exit the second floor and come down to grade. This deck and steps are the only way off the second floor currently. There's no internal stairs. There's no other set of stairs. This is the only means of egress from the second floor of the home. So the proposal is to remove that deck as shown in Exhibit A1. The deck that's there now is getting pretty dated, needs some maintenance, needs replacing. So the proposal is to take off the 6 by 12 deck and build a 12 by 22 deck. As indicated earlier, that'll span the width of the house. That way it straddles the driveway and the garage door. But also, it's the only outdoor deck area on the property. There's no room to the rear or sides of the house to have a deck. This is the only yard area, front yard, if you will, that where a deck could be placed, that to have some outdoor seating. So they want to expand the deck so they can add a table along with the couple chairs they have on the deck now. There is a long list of nonconformities in Frank's letter. I'm going to go through them quickly. I think 8 out of 9 are existing conditions that aren't changing due to this project. So I'll go through those 8 quickly. The lot area is 2,450 square feet where 4,000 is required. 40 feet of width, 35 feet of width where 40 is required, and 35 feet of frontage where 50 is required. Again, this lot geometry was approved in 1982 and is being unaltered. So those are 3 nonconformities. A rear setback to the home is only 2.5 feet where 8 feet is required. Again, an existing condition not being altered by the deck modification. Minimum floor area 720 square feet is required. This home at 22 by 22 is 491 square feet. That's a nonconformity not being altered by the proposal. Rear setback to the air conditioner. There's a small, I call them horizontal air conditioners. They're very small units behind the house. It's only 1 foot off the property line where 5 feet is required. That's an existing nonconformity not altered by the application. And then on the right side of the home, there's a shower and a shed that are attached to the home. They're 3.5 feet from that right property line. Again, this application is not altering them. And looking back at that 1982 subdivision map, it appears the shower was there at that time. So the shower is not new. It's been a long-standing structure. Again, not altered by this application. The one item that is slightly altered is combined side setback. Required is to be 16 feet because of the existing structure. The way the existing home is positioned, the back right corner of the house is 7.5 feet off the property line. The front left is 5.1. So we're at existing 12.6 combined. The house has a slight skew to it, if you will. So as you can see, it changes by tenths as you go forwards and backwards. So the front left corner of the deck will be 5 foot to the north property line instead of 5.1. So we're changing our combined side setback by 1/10 of a foot to a 12.5 combined side. So there's a small change, very de minimis. And it allows and that's measured to that front left corner or northwest corner of the deck where there's a landing for the stairs to come down. Lot coverage, well, we're adding deck, we're adding a raised deck. So the lot coverage, the building coverage is increasing. It's going from 27.2 to 34.9. But again, even that's conforming. It's below the 35% limit. And on such a small lot, 2,450 square feet, staying under that limit is tough, but it's done by this application. And then another coverage that's changing, it's not a variance, but it is one thing changing by this application, is the impervious coverage. Right now with that concrete on the left side, we're over by 2.3%. We're at 62.3% impervious coverage. But we've told, the client presented to us what they wanted to do. We started talking and we discussed removal of the concrete on that north side of the property. And that removal allows us to get that impervious coverage just to be under the 60% that's permitted. So that's an improvement by this application. So and it's kind of a quick overview, but that's a pretty simple project. It's a deck reconstruction. It's on the front of a house, but it doesn't encroach in the front yard setback. And as you can see by the plans and the photos, front yard is driveway. Side yards are very small as shown on the site plan. So there's not really anywhere else we could relocate the deck or the stairs. That's what we're proposing.
Mr. Marciano, due to the narrowness of the lot and the lot area, is there a hardship in your opinion to the applicant?
Yes, I feel there's a hardship here under C1 analysis because of the narrowness and somewhat shallowness at only 70 feet. So I feel in the physical features, the existing house, the existing deck, those are all under C1 hardship variance. But at the same time, I feel we are also qualified under a C2 analysis where we're advancing purposes of municipal land use law. I feel, we're providing adequate air, light, and open space where this is positioned. It's in the front yard where there's ample room. It's a safety feature for the home, improving the stairs that are aging. And we've also brought down the impervious coverage. So even though we have a small lot, we made that comply. So we're not generating excess runoff from the site. So I feel the positive criteria outweigh the negative criteria because I don't see any detriment to the neighbors of the neighborhood. Again, the location, looking at the site plan, there's structures immediately north and south of us on either side. So we can't gain more land, but those structures are existing. There's an existing detached garage, existing shed to our south. So, putting a deck next to a detached garage, I feel there's no detriment. So definitely the positive criteria outweigh the negative criteria in this situation.
And do you feel that an approval of the application would impair the intent and purpose of the zone plan and zoning ordinance of Beach Haven?
No, I feel there's no impairment of the zone plan. We're in a single family zone, it's a single family structure. It's staying as such. This is just a better use of the front deck area and a safer egress. So no detriment to the zone plan to maintain this single family home on this property.
Thank you. Are there any questions of Mr. Marciano?
Do you have a picture? The picture we have in our deck here is not very clear.
Here, I have a better copy of it.
Mine is not great either, which is why yours isn't that great, but I can present you what I have here.
Today, still, I can't figure that out. So. light.
Right.
Yeah, that I didn't prepare the plan, but just as a description of what is everyone's looking at, holding the plans now. The top right is a plan view. It shows the joists of the deck. The bottom right is like a front elevation view, if you will. And then the left would be a side elevation looking from the south side of the property across the deck and under the deck.
All the way to the left on bottom, that one?
Yeah, the left bottom, that would be as if you were standing on the right property line looking to, under the deck and towards the steps.
Excuse me, so is that like a glass? There's no railing? Is it solid glass or plexiglass or something? Is that what? I mean, I'm looking at the bottom left. You go up the stairs. There's no railing between the posts. Is that because it's glass or plexiglass?
I don't have an answer for that.
It was undecided at that time.
Kevin Wazalewski. Kevin Wazalewski, 2916 Hartley Avenue, Easton, Pennsylvania.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
So when, Mr. Wasilewski, we're looking at a drawing that was submitted with the application. Did you prepare this drawing?
I did.
Okay, and the question that the board secretary, I'm sorry, the chairwoman has at the moment is that the bottom left photo, the bottom left portion of the plan, it almost appears that there's open rails, but if you could just explain what the design of the railing is at this point, if you know.
So when the plan was initially brought to the township here, I submitted some submittals for railing. It was undecided at that particular time what rail we were going with. We wanted to make sure we could go ahead and do this before more detail was be put into it. Most likely, this plan will now go to an architect to make sure that we have all the right anchoring and all that. We also proposed putting helical spears in there for pilings. So they were submitted as well. I believe all that stuff came back because of the fact that we didn't have the proper setback. So after, if we go ahead and get the variance to do this as approved with the actual footprint of the deck, we will go ahead and have a better plan submitted, get our construction permits. So right now, what you see on the left side by the staircase, that's a proposed baluster type of rail. But again, it's undecided at this particular time what rail would go in there, whether we would go glass or a standard baluster.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there any other questions from the board?
This property falls in the historic district, correct? Is it just outside?
I can't hear, Tom.
The question was whether or not the property is located in the historic district, and it is not.
Okay. Any other questions? Is there any place that they could move that shed to open up that side some?
On the south side?
Well, I don't know, or under the deck, is there any place they could put it under the deck? I don't know what they keep in that shed. I just think it's,
You're referring to the shed behind the outside shower?
yeah. I mean, it just seems so tight all around that house that,
Attached.
Yeah, the shed and the shower are all in one alignment down that south side. So the shed doesn't stick out any more than the shower, and they are 3.5 feet, but there was no proposal to change them. They appear to be attached, like three-sided and attached to the home.
oh, all right. Thank you.
You have a better picture of that on the side there? It's kind of blocked you.
There's no elevation. Just a-
Yeah, I don't have a photo of that, unfortunately. But do you want the applicant to supply some more testimony about that configuration?
Maybe this is an opportunity to, move the shower and that shed underneath the deck. I think that's what Bonnie was thinking too, not to put words in your mouth, Bonnie, but.
I think there wouldn't be.
I
a
think
whole-
there's a door underneath that deck.
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be a lot of room. Because you've got the garage door and then you've got the door going into the bottom of the house. And then a little bit to the south is I don't think you could put the shed in the shower. I used to know the people who lived there back in the 70s. It's
But these
exactly the same as it was. before.
Okay.
That's the shower. And this is, those photos to the side.
They're accessory structures, so not need a 5-foot setback. 3.5 foot. So for a 1.5 feet, I don't really see an issue with leaving the other.
If you want me to mark this, yeah, this is what their shower looks like. Looks like it's attached.
Well, I think this is a great improvement. I've known the previous owners, I'm very familiar with the property. I was wondering who purchased the property and what you were gonna do with such a small lot and a small house. So I think it'll be a great addition to the neighborhood. I only hope that maybe try to match it, you are bordering the historical district, so if you could try to blend it in a little bit better, that's all I would ask, but I'm definitely in support of this.
I agree, me too. I'm in support of it. I'm in support of it, and I agree with Jamie. You're one house off the historic district, and it is an older house, and so I suggest that whatever railings you pick fit in with the history of the town. Anybody else?
I'm in support of it also.
All right, then. Any more questions? If not, we'll make a motion.
How about the public?
Public comment.
Oh, the public, that's right. Is there public there? Can I have a motion to open it to the public, please?
So moved.
Second,
Penny.
okay, anybody raise their hand or?
Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Hello. Karen Beals, 509 North Beach Avenue, and we are permanent residents. We don't live anywhere else. We are the adjacent home that was the previous combined home, but we've owned it since 2016. So we have no, knowledge of the previous condition of the two properties. So we've owned it since it was split, and we have no objection. So that's all I need to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody on Zoom that raised their hand?
No.
Okay. Nobody else in the public? No? Okay, can I have a motion to close it to the public?
So moved.
Second, Penny.
All right, now. Can I have a motion to approve or disapprove application 2023-01, 507 West Beach Avenue?
So moved. I move to approve the plan for the deck on the this particular home. I don't know how specific.
I'll second it, Tom.
Tom seconds.
Got it.
Let's go to vote. Mrs. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Meadow,
Yes.
Mrs. Ballmiller,
Yes, good luck.
Mrs. Eddles,
Yes.
Mrs. Leonard,
Yes.
Mr. Jenna,
Yes.
Mr. Tinquist,
Yes.
Ms. King.
Yes.
Application approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. All right. The next one is application 2023-02, Ohana How, 805 North Bay Avenue, block 190, lot 2.02. The applicant seeks a minor site plan exemption for indoor and outdoor seating. This application was approved before, but they were approved for no seating inside. And I know when during COVID, 2 little tables appeared outside, but that's all I remember. So who's representing them?
Oh, you want to use this one? This seems to be the only one.
Good evening, I'm Adam Sprague. I'm representing, the owner of Ohana How. So, this business kind of been in the works for about 25 years. I would say it was probably about 25 years ago. I was in Hawaii on a surf trip with a bunch of friends and, kind of got hooked on this shave ice and would return year after year. Then I took kind of a pause growing up, have a family, and 2 years ago, I was out in Kauai with my daughter Summer, and we're having some shave ice at one of my favorite places there. And she's like, you know, Dad, this would do really good at home. And I said, Summer, I think you're right. So basically, started to think about it. And, you know, every time she would say, what do you think about the shave ice? I don't know. Well, we went again last year, and she's like, Dad, let's do the shave ice. So I said, well, if the right place opens up, and I was driving through Beach Haven and I saw a place for rent. My daughter was with me and we're on our way down to Holyoke Avenue to go surfing. And I said, I think that's the right spot. So we contacted the landlord, you know, kind of worked out a deal to see if we could get in there. And our plan is to open up a shave ice shop here in Beach Haven, which I think there was something similar back in the early 80s for a little while there. They did very well. And, you know, we're excited. I'm excited. My family's been in Beach Haven since the 1800s. So we're excited to be back in town and, you know, trying to make something family, fun, oriented. And that's what we're up to. So originally, I think this place was last year was open doing lobster rolls for takeout. And they had maybe 2 or 3 tables outside. There was a health food store. Prior to that, she had vegan food. I vaguely remember, but I looked in and there was no anything in the records ever having indoor seating.
It was pretty good food, but it just didn't take off.
Right, it didn't take off. So what we're proposing is 3 small tables out front and a basically counter seating with 12 seats inside. And basically it's for a rainy day or a 100-degree day, you know, just to give people an option to have a place to sit and eat, you know. Ideally, if they can take it to go, that's great. Sit outside, but we don't want to be shut down on a rainy day, you know, so that's basically what we're looking for. Just simple bench seating, stools, and I have just a. This is our proposal. Sorry, I didn't realize it'd be 9 people on this meeting tonight. Okay, all right. So we're not looking to reinvent anything, no structural changes, no major construction at the site, no plumbing changes. Basically, everything is the need that we have. But, you know, if we could get some counter space in there, that would be great.
I guess my question was, when I was reading this, is I didn't even think you'd have to go to the land use board for this application. It's not a change of use. The only thing I could think is, I mean, they did have some, in the past, you could go inside and, I mean, but they didn't have seating inside, but that, so I just wondered why.
Because they did not have seating, and everybody gets upset if we pass these people and they don't have seating and they bring seating in and do they have a bathroom, yada, yada, yada. So that's why the person decided to bring it before the board.
We do additional restroom too. Yep.
I have no problem with this. I'm just questioning the outside seating. Did you get a permit, or are you getting a permit for outside seating?
I will be.
So
applying.
they will pretty much be approving the number and the size of the tables. I mean, it says picnic tables, and I think they're a little large for, I don't know how wide the sidewalk is there.
They make different size, shape picnic tables. Obviously, we'll be set back from the sidewalk, you know, and we're not
By
going to
4
push.
feet? Will you have 4 feet of opening walking space? Don't you need, Frank, don't they need 4 feet to clear from the curb?
Not gonna be able to hear me, at least 6.
You need
6
feet.
There's 8 feet.
That's my only question. I have no problem with the seating inside.
Oh,
Anybody else have any questions?
So I have a question because this application is for permanent outdoor seating and the ordinance for outdoor seating with the borough would be on a yearly basis. So what are you're going for permanent outdoor seating, not on a yearly basis with the borough? That's the way that I read the application. So you can either have your application here for permanent outdoor seating and we decide on that, or you could apply to the borough on a yearly basis for outdoor seating.
Right. The outdoor seating didn't seem like it was going to be a sticky point. It was for the indoors why I'm here, I think, for that counter
Okay,
space.
so you're gonna not go with outdoor seating for this application, just go for the yearly basis?
It might be recommended to go for permanent outdoor rather than going every year, honestly. I'm going for permanent outdoor.
Here, that's why I was.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
that was confusing to me. I thought he was going to the borough for the yearly thing. And we weren't going to deal with that. We were just dealing with the indoor, but now we're adding the outdoor as a permanent thing.
It would be smart to.
That's how I read the.
I think it would be smart to, but I'm not, I haven't done this for the last 2 years. So I mean, I think the one you go to the borough with every year is outdoor seating in places where they don't really have much of a property.
Right.
And so they're basically kind of on the sidewalk and they have to leave enough room for wheelchairs and stuff to get by. But you have property from the sidewalk to the building itself. So I don't see that you could object to, there's been outdoor seating there in the past. And I think for the sake of the applicant, what?
I would just like to see the table. We don't know what he's coming up with. I mean,
Well-
usually in these applications, they have the table and the size and how many people are going to sit at the table? 4 people, 6 people, 8 people?
Right, true.
We don't have that.
Excuse me, I'm the landowner and
You have to be,
there's,
you have to be sworn in if you're going to speak.
Couldn't we work on something that would, I mean, yeah, I mean, they seem very agreeable to not want to, clog the area up, but it would be unfortunate if we couldn't move forward with this now. And I mean, I just think it's such a minor thing that I don't.
think if we went with permanent, we're kind of opening a can of worms on it. Because the township wants you to go year to year.
Well, no, if we go with a permanent one, we can specify exactly what it is and you can never change it without being in violation of his agreement.
I don't think this municipality would object to the permanent. I really don't. As long as, as long as you weren't making it difficult for traffic to move by and for people to get in and out of the inside of the place. That's my feeling. And there's 2 of us here from
Right, well, the
council.
yearly ordinance for the borough is also the ability to use borough property as well. So in this case, you don't need, it looks
I believe there's about 8 feet.
from your.
sidewalk
from
is
the-
8 feet wide.
I don't think I mean, looking at the pictures, it looks like there's plenty of room in front of the building with the tables. I don't know if it's inside. Again, this is a site plan exemption that only gets heard by newspaper news. I don't review.
I know.
So, I mean, I don't think it's an issue. There's usually proposing tables. Just needs to be stipulated, they're not going to interfere with the sidewalk.
Has to be the 6
Need
foot
to be on
clearance.
his property with 6 foot minimum clearance. I think you're fine.
Okay.
And approved permit. Then the indoor seating is just the kind of the seats. I don't think it's a big issue.
Agree.
I do have a question. If
Sure.
you had outdoor seating for right off the sidewalk, would you pull them in after a certain time at night? To avoid the nuisance traffic of juveniles and whatnot,
Well,
They'll sit there.
they will take up residence.
is there a curfew for juveniles in the town
There is a curfew at midnight.
at midnight? So, and our proposed hours are till midnight.
Oh, okay. You're also gonna have, bar patrons resting there on their way to wherever they wander up to.
And they'll rest on my front steps there too, probably.
Not as much, but
I hear you.
So what are you looking at? Are you looking at, four tops, two tops? What are you thinking? Because picnic benches are not gonna fit there.
Not a full picnic bench. I was looking at the round tables, 3 tables.
How wide are those round tables? Are they 40 inches, 36 inches, 48 inches? What's the diameter of those round tables? I can just remember the former lobster people tables that were out there. And they were small little square tables.
Yeah, these are probably
They were
around 8
circular.
inch. Circular.
But do you know the diameter? Because actually, those round tables are going to take up more room than a rectangular or a square.
They still have to stay within.
Yeah, they have to.
They still have to meet the criteria, not interfere with the subject.
I can't hear what Frank said.
I think Frank just said that as long as they didn't interfere with the sidewalk. And I mean that, they can't be so big that people are pushing their chairs back onto the sidewalk. I think all we really need to do is say, seating on the property without encroaching the sidewalk. And I think the owner would be very amenable to working with us to make sure that the tables were the
Well,
proper size.
the owner is on Zoom and he would like to speak, I think. He
Yes.
spoke up. So we.
Well,
could
I mean, the
swear him
owner
in.
of the business, but the owner of the property is on
The
Zoom.
owner of the
So,
property.
yeah,
So why don't we swear him in and hear what he has to say?
okay.
Mr. De Palma,
Yes, good
they're
evening.
going to swear you in and you can speak to this application.
Can you state your name and address for the record?
Daniel De Palma, 5 Penn Elmer Drive, Clarksburg, New Jersey.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Your question?
No, I just wanted to add that, Adam, I'm very excited to have Adam as a prospective tenant, and we've worked together very closely. And we've got about 16 feet between the curb and the building. So, and the sidewalk itself is 8 feet. But despite all that, I know Adam has been very diligent in making sure that he follows every rule, certainly that I've set out. And the last thing I want to have on my hands is an issue with my insurance agent telling me that we're obstructing the sidewalk and causing a hazard. So I'm quite certain that whatever Adam comes up with in terms of a footprint for the table, that there'll be ample room to work outside of the footprint of the sidewalk, which, as I said, is 8 foot in and of itself. And I believe there's another 8 feet between the edge of the sidewalk and the building. So my suspicion is he'll have plenty of room to work properly, and he'll get a table that fits the space appropriately. And as to a concern about people loitering, I welcome anyone to come on a Friday or a Saturday night in the middle of the season and help me with that problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. De Palma.
Thank you for hearing me out. Thanks.
Yes, thank you. Okay, are there any other questions or comments? I'm going to open it to the public. If there aren't. Does anybody else have a comment? No? Okay, can I have a motion to open it to the public, please?
So moved.
Second,
Second, Penny. We're a team.
has anybody raised their hand on Zoom or in the borough
No.
hall? No?
No.
No comments? Okay, can I have a motion to close it to the public, please?
So
So
moved.
move. Second.
Okay.
One
Any
question.
Any
I
final
have-
questions?
Yes, I have one, Bonnie, Penny.
Mhm.
If we go forward with this and approve it, do we need to have more specifics that we're signing off on, or can we just leave it to him to decide how many tables and how big they are? Or do we need more specifics to say, okay?
Well, I would think we'd need specifics. We have a specific number inside.
Mhm.
And I
That,
think
yeah.
we're
Yeah.
going with what, 3 tables outside did he ask for?
Okay,
Is that right?
Yep. Yep.
3-4 tops.
And 3 tables outside. We didn't get
Okay.
specific about the number of seats at the tables. I know when we did Coors Ice Cream, there was 4 seats at each table. Remember that, the half round ones or round ones that they had, so,
Bonnie, he said 3-4 top, so that would be 12 maximum.
okay, 12 seats maximum, right, outside?
12 people.
okay,
12 people.
right, seats.
Oh, yeah, seats. I thought you said.
All right, so 3 tables.
Okay.
That's why you said feet. I got feet, and seat mixed up.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve or disapprove this application?
Motion to,
Penny, go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Jenna.
motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second,
Second, Penny.
Okay.
Let's go to vote. Mayor Davis?
yes.
Mr. Meadow?
Yes.
Mrs. Ball Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Eddles?
Yes.
Mrs. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Jenna?
Yes.
Mr. Tinquist?
Yes.
And Ms. King? Yes. Application approved.
All of them.
Thank you. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Looking
Oh,
forward to
That's
it.
still all of them.
Come by.
Jim, who was your father?
Jimmy Sprague.
Oh, okay.
But there's a bunch of Jimmy Sprague.
Yeah, I know.
History, Jim, 84 years old.
Yeah, yeah,
Papa. That was my papa. Jimmy Sprague was-
yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah. Yeah.
I was gonna ask you the same
Still
thing.
born again light, he's like, okay.
All right. Thank you very much and good luck to you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It'll be exciting.
It's exciting. I can't wait to try it.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
It'll be really
yeah.
good. So,
Looking forward to it.
Ohana Hao is the snow family in Hawaii. So,
Oh, nice.
so,
It sounds wonderful.
yeah,
Sounds like it'll go really well.
yeah, we'll
hopefully.
see.
Yeah.
So, should be
Good luck.
fun. Yes, thank you.
Tell your
everyone.
daughter, good luck.
Yep, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I just have a final comment tonight and then we'll adjourn. If we're gonna continue doing these Zoom meetings like this, something's gotta be done about the microphones. I don't understand why Nancy's comes through so clearly and nobody else's does.
I've been bugging Sherry about this a lot because if we're going to do Zoom, it needs to be done right. And there's no reason it can't be. And I think we need to bring in I know we have some techs that work for us, and Tom knows more about the system than any of us. But I know I do a lot of Zoom meetings at Stockton. Now we have a whole tech department, but they're so much better than this. For
Yeah.
example, you would be able to see all of us. Can you see all of us sitting at this podium? Or you?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
now I can. Frank's head is cut in half, but the rest of him I can see.
And I mean, it can be done so much better. And the sound, like you say, the sound, we need some new eyes to come in and look at this and get this right. Because
I
we're
know.
doing Zoom meetings, not just here, but in the regular meetings as well.
Well, right,
And,
and I remember at the regular meeting, like the last one I watched, Sherry had to get up and you couldn't use the microphone in the middle. You had to go over to where Frank was sitting and run the meeting, and people had to talk from the microphone at the end there. So there's got to be a better way. I don't know if you need a whole new system or something, but if they're going to continue with this, you got to be able to hear people. I mean,
And
hearing
you know,
me-
so many times the meetings have been delayed because they can't get this to work properly. And that should not have to happen. We're all
Right.
busy people and we don't want to sit around an hour waiting
Right.
for the meeting to start. So I'll continue to work on that. Maybe we can find a different tech person that can have a little more, a new look at it.
Can we just do a quick test right now on something?
Sure.
Just each of us, if we go through the mics to see, and Bonnie, let us know if you can hear us. Can you hear me perfectly clear or not?
No,
No.
you are not, Jerry.
So we're going to do everybody to talk in their phones and see how many you can hear.
Okay.
Hello? No, I can't even hear you.
I'm even plugged
Are you plugged in?
And what a little button on there.
That mutes-
Hello?
That mutes you.
Oh, that mutes me.
Hello?
What's nothing?
Maybe
that was off.
Maybe.
I assume, hello?
Can you hear
I can't,
Kathy?
Frank, I can't, no.
No.
Hello?
Alan, I hear, but it's not clear. It's not sharp like Nancy's.
Let me try again. Bonnie, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but it's not as clear and strong as Nancy's.
Are you
Yeah.
talking into the microphone directly? I don't think he's
Is it
close
the
enough
button
to the mic.
On the microphone, I just pushed that. so-
That mutes you.
You have to get closer to the mic,
That's what, so then I
Jerry.
can, that's not going.
Jerry,
We need
you
help.
have to get,
Definitely, we need help.
yeah.
Well,
No, this should go like clockwork. This should go like,
it should. Jamie, say something.
Bonnie, can you hear me now?
Now I can hear Jamie.
Yes,
That's
but
better.
Jamie is talking into the mic.
Loud.
Yes.
I'll talk loud, just try to talk normal. There was one that was
Oh.
down low,
Okay.
so I turned it up, see if that was.
Can you hear me now?
Sort of.
sort of,
That answer is no. Yeah.
yeah.
Nancy's is still the clearest though,
Yeah.
for whatever reason. That mic. Robin, say something.
Can you hear me now?
Very
Not
faintly,
very faint,
Can you hear me?
very faint.
not loud.
It's not good.
No. Can you hear us well?
Yes.
Can hear you perfectly fine.
Really?
Yeah, we can hear you. Great.
Yeah. See, I can hear you, Nancy. Great.
Hmm.
Lee.
Okay, this needs this is ridiculous. It needs to be
All right, well,
fixed.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're gonna
for the
have to take
court as
some-
well, for
we're
the
gonna-
judge.
You're gonna have to take some borough funds and buy a whole new system, I think.
I don't think we need a whole new system, but we need something.
Well, we'll
Yeah.
leave it
We
in
need-
your hands,
I mean, it
Nancy.
worked at one point, so it.
It hasn't worked well for a while. I
For a
don't think.
while. All right.
Yeah.
Can I have a motion to adjourn? this
Motion to
meeting?
adjourn?
Yes. We have
Yes.
nothing else on the agenda.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Wow.
We need
Aye.
a Second.
Bye. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Hope you find your kitty
Oh, that was-
man.